Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Imagine making $1,000 per month in dividend income. While it may not sound like a lot of money, the real best part of this income is that you make this money each month without working. This means you really don't have to go to a job or put in any real effort, and you get paid every single month. Now, of course, the only effort you need up front is learning about dividend investing and how to use the dividend snowball in your favor to start building your portfolio. And that is what we're gonna discuss in today's video. We're gonna go through everything you need to know when building up your dividend portfolio so that you can get $1,000 or more in dividend income per month. So let's give ourselves a raise. Live your sweet life, and let's get started with the video. Make sure you subscribe if you like this type of content. Now, to get started toward that $1,000 per month in dividend income, there are some very easy charts to look at, and that helps us understand exactly the right type of dividend stocks and ETFs to buy into to make sure that we're building our portfolio in the best way possible. We want to make sure that we're buying the right type of companies that have long-term growth opportunities, that will pay a dividend long-term, and of course, be there for you for the long term. We're gonna talk about single stocks, and we're gonna talk about ETFs. We're gonna break them down. I'm gonna show you my portfolio and an update where I'm projecting to go from, like $500 a year to $28,000 a year by doing nothing. So stay tuned for that. So let's start off with stocks, and we're gonna break this down, and I'm gonna pull up some examples of what to look for. So when it comes down to stocks, there are two things that I look at when I'm looking into buying a stock that pays a dividend, especially if I want to get to that $1,000 per month threshold. Very first thing I'm going to do to make it easy, I'm going to pop up my iPad screen here and take you through how I do this research. So I'm going to just use Yahoo Finance to make this super simple. But let's start with, of course, one of my favorite, which is the Apple stock. So I'm going to type in AAPL, and I'm going to hit go. And Yahoo Finance is going to take me over to the details behind Apple. Don't worry, if you're new to this, I'm gonna walk you through exactly what I look for. You're gonna zoom in down here at the bottom to these two very important statistics. The very first one is forward dividend and yield, right here. I'm gonna highlight it for you so you can check it out. We can see it's 0.82. Now this forward dividend and yield is basically saying that it's 82 cents a year. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but bear with me. We're gonna get serious about how much money you can make in just a few minutes. But 82 cents, that's a 0.68% yield. Now, I also look at EPS. This stands for earnings per share. Whoops, I highlighted this all over the place. Let's go back. Okay, earnings per share is 3.69. You always want to make sure that the EPS, the earnings per share, is higher than the forward dividend. The reason why is that earnings per share is how much that company is making. And if you look at the split out of that, they're basically taking a small percentage out of that EPS to pay a dividend. If that forward dividend is higher than the earnings per share, they're basically paying you more than they're earning and having to dip in their balance sheet in order to pay you as an investor. And that's not cool. That's a good way to signal a company that might not be doing too well, but they're still trying to look good by paying a dividend. Something I'm not a big fan of. So that is Apple. That looks pretty good. I'm also going to give you one more example here. Coca-Cola. KO is the ticker symbol for Coca-Cola. I'm going to hit go right here on Yahoo Finance. Now you're going to see it's trading for $53 a share. That's all good and dandy. But we're going to go back to exactly what I just talked about earlier. Here's the forward dividend. Look at this one. $1.68 a year. That means $1.68 for every share that you own is paid out a year. Look at their earnings per share. Now, EPS is $1.79. But keep in mind, as I shared earlier, that is still higher than the forward dividend. So it's still good news. They're not dipping into their balance sheet. They're basically earning more than they're giving away, and that's a good thing. So Coca-Cola, another good company, and of course it's paying a little bit more than Apple. Obviously, you got to do your own research. None of this is financial advice. I'm not telling you to go out and buy Coca-Cola and buy Apple. I'm just giving you an example of some of the research that you can do when trying to figure out the best ways to get started in your dividend portfolio. I still want to also share with you what to look for in an ETF. Now, an exchange-traded fund is an opportunity to buy into something that's a little bit more safe, that gives you access to a variety of stocks in a basket. It's kind of how I look at it. So for example, you could have something that is a growth stock that holds companies such as Apple and Coca-Cola and some of the blue chip stocks. And when one of those may go down in price, because you own an ETF, you're not losing money. You might go down a little bit, but think about if all your eggs were in one basket and you only owned single shares of Apple and the Apple stock crashes to the ground. Well, you get to go down in burning flames with them. So if you're a little bit nervous about that, it's best to start with an ETF so that way you are a little bit more diversified and a little bit more safe from a conservative perspective. But things are a little bit different, and you can't look at the forward dividend and the EPS when it comes down to ETFs. So let's talk through that really quick. I'm going to share with you some of the ETFs that I have. We're going to start with SPHD. This is the Invesco S&P 500. They track some of the highest dividends on the S&P 500, and here's what I look for when it comes down to an ETF. The very first thing I'm going to hop over to is the expense ratio, because this is basically how much you're paying because you're buying into this ETF that's managed either passively or actively by the ETF company. So they're basically looking at all the shares of stock that they own that make up your ETF, and you got to pay them a little bit of money for that. As you can see in this example, the expense ratio is 0.30%. So for every and I'm going to pull up my calculator here so you can check this out. So in order, let's say you want to invest $1,000. You type in $1,000 times 0.30%. That equals $3. So for every $1,000 you put into SPHD, for example, you're going to be paying $3 roughly in an expense ratio. And that's all covered by the purchase of the share. You don't have to pay extra money out of some other account. It's all taken care of when you purchase the stock. But that is something to keep in mind. Personally, what I look for are those ETFs that have an expense ratio of 0.75% or lower. I actually like the lower the better. SPHD is a little bit high, 0.3. There are some that trade for as little as 0.06%. Those are the passively managed funds, and I'll give you an example of that one in just a moment. So let me hop over and show you one other thing here on the iPad, and that is the yield. Now, right here, the yield you can see is a 4.63%. So the dividend yield is looking pretty cool, is it not? Look at that, 4.63% is exactly what we want. I like to look anywhere from about 1 to 5% in my dividend yield for my ETFs. Anything more than that is okay, but again, keep an eye on your research to make sure that they're not just overpaying a dividend to look really good, but there's some shadiness or some instability within the ETF or the stock or the company that you're interested in investing in. Next up on deck, let's look at a Vanguard fund. This is one that I have in my portfolio, which is MGC. It's the mega cap, and you look at this one, this expense ratio is beautiful, 0.07%. Now the yield is a little bit lower because of course the expense is lower, so you get what you pay for. It applies here as well, my friend, but yield is still 1.43%. Last thing that you gotta know, check the dividend history. You can go on something like Macro Invest. It's a great way to do it. What I'm looking for, after I look through all the stats that I just gave you, is I want to make sure that this has some history behind it and some opportunity for the future. For example, I want to ensure that over the long period of time, this will continue to go upward. And in order to look at the future, it's sometimes best to look at the past. If all of a sudden their dividend payouts are going down, that might be something to put up a red flag to make sure you're putting your money in the best investment to get to that $1,000 per month. Now, how much do you actually have to put into the portfolio in order to generate $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month? Well, I already did a video on that, so I don't want to waste your time in this one, but I will link it up above as well as in the description below. Go check that video out after you check this one out, and it'll explain to you exactly how to calculate to see how much in your portfolio you need in order to get the income that you want. But here's where things get super lucrative. Now, you might have looked at these expense ratios and these dividend yields, and you're like, well, wait a second. It looks like based on how much I can actually put into this thing, I'm not going to make that much money. I'm going to be getting like $1, and I could just go like do a side hustle and make like $24 an hour. Why would I waste my time? Very fair point, my friend. But I want to show you the power of compound interest. The power of compounding and starting your dividend snowball today with as little as $10, $20, $40, it doesn't matter. Get started today. And you can use things as Robinhood or Webull, a very easy way to get started. All you got to do, click the link in the description below and get yourself free stocks simply for signing up to either one of these brokerage accounts, which are absolutely free. Deposit your first amount of money into it, no matter how much it can be. I mean, even if it's $100, deposit $100, find a dividend paying stock or ETF, buy it, and start your snowball today. Here's what I mean. If you go over to a very easy website called trackyourdividends.com, which are up on the screen right now, this is absolutely free to plug in your portfolio and see how things are going to progress. Right now, you're looking at my portfolio. It is comprised of my Robinhood, my Webull, and my Stash brokerage accounts. Yes, I use a lot of brokerage accounts because I'm weird like that, but that's just me and that's what I like, so no judging. Anyway, so look at that, $14,000. And most importantly here, you can look at two different things. Your dividend yield. So out of my entire portfolio, thanks to trackyourdividends.com, my yield is at 3.57%. And then my yield on cost, 3.65%. Remember the cost I was talking about a little bit earlier? That's what that's all about. So after my costs are taken out, my yield is still at 3.65%. I'm in the green. That's a good thing, obviously. And then annual income right now, based on what I selected within my portfolio and based on my portfolio value, is $521 a year. Yeah, that's not $1,000 a month, is it? I'm working on it. You can go over here to future value and track your dividends. And I'm gonna click on summary so you can see my entire account. And this is where it gets really cool. So what it does is it's looking at the following. The dividend growth rate, which is what I shared a little bit earlier on macro trends. It's a great way to see how the yield is continuing to grow in whatever company you're interested in buying into. Based on my portfolio, they automatically calculate that the 5-year dividend growth rate for me is 20.11%. Dividend yield at 3.58%. My starting annual dividend payment, as I just shared with you, is $521.35. And in 2030, my annual payment will be $1,580.55. This is if I do not do anything. So from this point forward, I am stopping my investments. I'm not investing a single dollar, a single dime. I'm done. That's what would happen. Check this out. In 25 years from today, you can click on that button right there. Look at that. Look at the ending annual payment there, $28,396. And you can see kind of the graph going up. Again, me doing nothing from this point forward. Sitting back, relaxing. And by the way, there's my more than $1,000 a month. Of course, 25 years, you're gonna be like, bloody hell, that's gonna take forever. But hey, come on guys. That's me doing nothing. You know I'm not gonna be doing nothing. I'm gonna be taking my money and I'm gonna be throwing it and continuing to invest, especially once I pay off my mortgage. I'm gonna go all in on really accelerating my account. This $14,000 account is gonna shoot to the moon. And along with that, that ending annual payment, based on recalculation, will continue to go up. Guys, we could be talking about $60,000 a year, $100,000 a year. Here's the point. Here's the whole point of the whole video that I hope really helps you. And if it does, tap the like button down below so this video can get out to more people. Instead of buying a bunch of dumb shit every time that you get paid, instead, take that and put it into this. That's where it separates the people that long-term, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, are gonna have their dividend snowball so big that they can build the best snowman. And that snowman is gonna pay you $28,000 a year or more, just based on simple principles. Sure, you can go out and buy the next iPhone. You can go out and buy the next big, awesome car. You can continue to just literally burn your money. Or you can say, you know what? That doesn't get me anywhere in life. At the end of the day, it doesn't. This will. This will give you the power over your life. This will give you to a point of being financially independent where if you really build up a serious portfolio, a very serious portfolio that might be outpacing your job, you could retire early. You don't have to be 65 years old. You just got to take all your money, live smart, invest it, and you're in power play control, my friend. And that is the sweet life. Hey, here's some other dividend videos you gotta check out if you wanna learn more about this topic. Until next time, live your sweet life. We'll see you on the next video.